Oh, it is.
Glam was great because Glam was funny. You know, it was just fun. It was like they were,
brilliant songs though.
But it was funny because it was like when I first saw Glam, right, I look back and it's like they're football hooligans dressing up as girls. The blokes from Slade and Mud were geezers, and then they were putting on earrings.
That's right. Apart from Bowie, Bowie and Bolan,
of course,
everyone else was a brickie.
Like the Sweet were all kind of carpenters and van drivers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just thought, I'll have some of this.
If this is actually when I was a kid, the Sweet were, I remember seeing them on Top of the Pops and talking about them a lot.
The Sweet were great,
especially Blockbuster.
Fox on the Run.
But I was like, Oxygen, what a great song! Love is like oxygen.
That's late Sweet.
I know it is. I know.
It's late Sweet.
But people dismiss them because they put them in with the pure nonsense of Gary Glitter. Let's not talk about Gary Glitter.
Well, we could talk about Gary Glitter. I'm going to posit something about Gary Glitter.
Go on.
Right? Every so often you do hear a Gary Glitter song.
Should I just explain, again, for American audiences, Gary Glitter was sort of a novelty act. He did Glam, he did Come On, right? And
American audiences know it because every time there's a goal in American sports, they play rock and roll.
Right, of course they do.
The bands play it at the college football games.
Right.
All the time you hear it. And you think,
wherever he is,
so that man,
prison, he's still getting royalties.
Yeah,
Paul Gadd. Yeah, still getting. But I want to posit
something.
So we
just explained what happened for the American audiences.
Okay.
Gary Glitter was one of probably the first and biggest disgraced.
Not the biggest. Savile in Britain.
Well, Savile was much later.
No, he's the first, but
yeah,
not the biggest.
Glitter was like
still the biggest. I think if you're talking pedo scandals, Savile's still top of the league.
Yeah,
Gary Glitter's like.
I even feel bad about
lumping Liverpool. He's like fourth.
So Jimmy Savile.
Don't say that. You'll get Scousers calling.
I only mean in terms of where the
I'm
team
trying to
normally
explain.
is.
Basically, we're talking about people who
pop stars who turned out to be paedophiles.
Yeah, paedophiles and things not quite as bad as that, but disgraced for some reason.
Well, in this case, it was as bad as that.
Yes, it was. Now, as I remember, Gary Glitter took in his laptop to PC World.
Yeah.
Something wrong with it, and forgot he had like indecent pictures of children on his.
That's correct.
So when he went out of that shop, what was I thinking?
No, weren't like the staff just having a nosy? They were saying, "Let's see what Gary's got on his computer."
Really?
And then they were like,
with mud from the 70s, and then it turns out it's a different type of mud on it.
But apparently the staff were having a nosy, just like a laugh. Let's see what he's got on his computer. And found the.
But I want to ask a question of you as a musician and you just as a cultural icon, which is sometimes with people like Gary Glitter, right? That happens, and their music in general, that's it. You don't really hear it anymore on the radio. Or whatever.
Sure.
But there are other people who say Michael Jackson. I'm going to use Michael Jackson. Now, Michael Jackson. No one absolutely conclusively proved anything about Michael Jackson, but you might have thought that the fact that he was known to have shared a bed with children and that he paid an enormous amount of money to that children's family so they didn't go to court might lead to him dropping on the playlist. But here's my point.
Yeah.
I think there are some people whose music is so good
that
no matter what they've done, that we can't really lose them. So we have to make excuses sort of for what they've done.
Yeah.
Well,
the truth is we know.
There's a comedian in America called Patrice O'Neill. He's dead now. But he famously said about this thing, Michael Jackson, it comes out, and people are going, maybe I won't listen to Bad, but Thriller, he probably wasn't doing it then. I can listen to Thriller.
No, that's the point.
Of course, Gary Glitter, forget it. It's only a couple of tracks. We don't need it.
Exactly.
We're not saying that Michael Jackson was definitely a paedophile.
And also, it's also to do with being cool and not cool, isn't it? Because,
of course.
Because they're very cool, because, we know as well that Led Zeppelin was sleeping with a lot of groupies. It's just generally recorded they were sleeping with a lot of groupies, some of whom were almost definitely underage. But most of those people seem to be all right with the fact they've done it.
Well, I think it might also be the fact that it was, someone was actually convicted, and it became, it was a point of law and proof. I think that's the other thing.
If Michael Jackson was convicted, you probably wouldn't hear so much.
Yeah, but then again, Bill Cosby, right, the most loved man in America. One woman comes out, 15 women come out. They're still going to his gigs. It took 40 women to come out, and people go, "Okay, 40 is too much." You know what I mean?
True,
okay.
Yeah.
We find out that great artists were terrible. They were slave owners and anti-Semitic, and they, and all these things in the past. But again, time it makes a difference.
But I agree with that.
Yeah.
I actually theoretically completely agree with that. T.S. Eliot was a fascist, but I still think he was a great poet.
Yeah.
But I think more recently we haven't allowed that distinction.
Well,
more
also,
recently, basically, if you're found in that kind of situation, that's the end of you being on the Radio 1 playlist. I said that. Radio 1 playlist, I don't know what's on that at all.
Well, no, and I mean
Radio 2 playlist.
I also think because it's a current culture and an ongoing thing that people don't want to play Gary Glitter songs because they don't want to think of getting that royalties and shooting straight off to Singapore or whatever.
Well,
listen to this. The first track on Oasis's biggest album, one of the biggest albums in history, Morning Glory, is a track called Hello. Where on the end we go into the Gary Glitter, we go into the Gary Glitter song because it was a football chant we were growing up, so we go into that, and the song is still credited to Gallagher and whoever Gad and all that, and it's kind of there was a big thing.
He gets royalties for that.
I thought he wouldn't get so much these days, but it's still selling. I mean, we're like, well, what did we do? Did we go back, remix the song and take it out, or what did we do? And
taking apart the terrible things that Gary Glitter has done, they're good songs. There's 4 or 5 songs that are good songs. So
they don't. They do. It literally doesn't make the song any worse. No. It can't because it exists. It's either dots on paper, it's either intellectual copyright, or it's a thing that was made and can't be changed.
Can you discuss, for example, on this podcast, the fact that I think those drums that they used in the Glitter Band were really brilliant? Like the next time I heard that was like Adam and the Ants when they had that really big drum sound.
Well, there's 2 drummers.
There are 2 drummers. But I still think when I hear that, that's a brilliant sound.
It's an amazing sound. I've been getting into some of Glam stuff recently, and it's incredible. It's real uplifting, fun music, played by geezers. You know what I mean? Like
it was party
bruisers.
music. It was sort of like the sound of the geezer, wasn't it? Even the dance in the hair, and it was funny that they were dabbling in androgyny.
Yeah, makeup on the makeup.
A year before they'd have been horrified, presumably.
Yeah. I think there always is a leader person in that. So with Bowie, even the people who are in the Spiders from Mars, Trevor and Mick and all that, you can tell they're not that comfortable with this stuff.
We've got to wear makeup.
We got to wear makeup. I'm going to put my arm around you. I'm not sure about it, but I'm going to do it. But they just go along with it. Same with punk rock. I was looking at a picture of the Sex Pistols the other day, and we have an idea of punk rock as this year zero. Yeah. But actually, apart from Johnny Rotten, who looks brilliant, I think.
And he actually looks like early boy with the orange hair.
Yeah, he looks incredible. But Paul Cook and Steve Jones, they're just ordinary-looking blokes with mullets.
Yeah, 2 guys in a boozer want to play music.
Entirely, yeah.
I mean, the real intellectual side of punk was really Johnny and Joe Strummer, probably.
Joe Strummer,
the rest didn't have a great deal to say for themselves, did they? It was actually all kind of spitting and shouting, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Although, actually, also when you see pictures of the Clash...
The Clash did look amazing.
You do think they look amazing. Yeah. They weren't just these sort of blokes who were just ripping the place up. Yeah. They also looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, the thing about punk is that it's a bit ambiguous in that it was sort of anything goes. It was anti-anything. So it was mixed in with, like... zips and 2 fingers and a swastika because they just wanted to piss off the establishment.